Let's talk about Deontay Johnson and his 0 from last season. I feel like that has given him this nice value decrease, or rather, I guess, increase in value, decrease in ADP, whatever you want to say, coming ahead for this year and in dynasties. Couple that with his drops that he has become known for on the internet. Does any of that scare you? Are you excited to maybe get him at a value?
Listen, his drops are so overblown. I can't handle it. Like his percentage isn't any higher than anyone else who gets 147 targets. Like it just, I feel like they always come in prime time is the issue. So everyone's like, oh, and if he drops the ball, all hell breaks loose. If Jamar Chase drops the ball, which he has a very high percent, no one cares, which I get it because at least Jamar Chase makes a lot of big plays and Deontay does not. But like, there's not a wide receiver that you're going to get at better value in PPR leagues than Deontay Johnson. His targets over the last 3 years, 144, 169, and 147. His catch percentage went way down with Kenny Pickett. It was at 58% compared to 63% in 2021. And surprisingly, his yards per reception were the lowest of his career. We thought it couldn't get any worse than Big Ben throwing him the ball and like that short offense, but it turns out it's just the Matt Canada offense. There is no room for yards after the catch for these wide receivers with George Pickens or Deontay Johnson. Every single target is to the sideline and they have no space to do anything else. Like they have to make a hard catch to begin with because it's, there's a lot of defenders near them, or right on the sideline, you have to make a toe tap and then you're just done after the catch. And I having these Steelers wide receivers is not going to be fun this year.
So no George Pickens love is what I'm hearing. No excitement about the big play potential of Big George.
But again, so Jake, going back to what I said, yes, the splash plays, exciting. The big plays, the big moments, yes, incredible. And I think George Pickens showcased a lot of really special skills, right? Again, the toe taps, when you think of some of the best toe taps and toe drags of 2022, you think of George Pickens because he had so many really special moments. But again, in between those plays, what was he offering? And I don't feel like it was something that is going to necessarily earn him a fantastic target share. Deontay Johnson is a guy that I think overall better route runner, just better overall reliable wide receiver. That's the guy that I'm going to go to down after down. Kenny Pickett, if you need a guy to go up and make a splash play with a contested catch, he might be your guy. But again, those plays are so hard to rely upon on a weekly basis. So maybe in best ball.
Yeah. So that's the thing with George Pickens is he can make really nice plays, and he did make a lot of nice plays, a lot of them in, again, prime time. So I think his cost is going to be too high. People are very excited about George Pickens, a guy who only had over 90 receiving yards in one game last year, and it was in week 4. So that was a very long time ago where he even had a huge game or like a big game for a fantasy wide receiver. He doesn't get a ton of targets. He just gets, those deeper receptions kind of. So it didn't score a lot of touchdowns last year because nobody did. But I think Pickens is going to cost too much. So if I'm taking one of these guys, I'm taking the value at Deontay Johnson because I do think he will go after Pickens.
And that's just because of volume. It's really hard to rely on any of these guys. Kenny Pickett threw 7 touchdowns last. I feel like that's an underreported stat. 7 passing touchdowns and never had a game where he threw more than 2. And now, so if I'm going to invest in one of these guys and I'm not banking on touchdowns, Deontay Johnson finished as the wide receiver 28 and scored 0. Give me Deontay Johnson just based on the fact that he hasn't had a season with fewer than 140 carries and
carries
targets in any of the last 3 years. I'll take the volume.